Please describe your job title and primary duties.
Originally, I was hired as a dishwasher. So, I washed dishes every night. And then they actually pulled me up front, like behind, I was serving food. I was a server and I did cash register stuff. And then eventually they even went on to make me what was called a guest ambassador. And I just kind of stood out front and talked to customers all day. And that was my primary duty, other than small menial, like pick up tray, throw it away kind of thing. But I was just kind of kept customers company and made sure they were all not so sad and mad when they entered there on their lunch break or whatever, kind of as a uplifter.
What was the work environment like?
Oh, well, at Boston Market, it was like we had to smile. Like, there was actually a girl that, like, got fired because she wasn't smiling enough, oddly enough. So, whether or not it was, like, under fake pretenses, it was a pretty bubbly atmosphere. Everybody I knew, where I worked with everybody there that I knew, and, we had a lot of fun. It was kind of a light and carefree atmosphere, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So, it was pretty happy.
What was your favorite part about working there?
The customers. I like talking to the customers. I like seeing all the different interesting people that would walk through the door and all the different things they had to say. And some people were there under really weird pretenses for reasons you would never expect if you didn't sit down and talk to them. So that was definitely interesting, being able to talk to a very wide variety of different kinds of people from all walks of life.
Please describe a typical day as an employee.
Pretty much, if you're washing dishes, you just wash dishes all day until you close, and then went home, like after mopping and stuff like that. But as a server, you had other responsibilities like rolling silverware, and you would go in there, and primarily it was all of your stuff doing before dinner rush and after dinner rush. Because during dinner rush, you were doing nothing but serving food and talking to customers. So that's pretty much what it consisted of. After you closed, it only took like another hour to get everything clean and ready for the next day.
How would you describe the application and interview process?
The interview process is done online. That's how it was when I did it like 2 years ago. So I feel like they wouldn't regress and go back to paper. And I put in my application and was called like very shortly afterwards, like within the next week, and went in. I was actually on vacation at the time, and I came back from vacation like 2 days later and just walked in, sat down at one of the tables with the general manager at the time, and he asked me a few general questions that you would expect at any sort of interview or for employment, and what's your work ethic and stuff like that. And sat down, got a call the next day, was hired.
What questions did the interviewer ask during the job interview?
They basically wanted to know like work experience. It was more like questions that they were directed to see how you answered it, as opposed to like the exact like what your answer was. It was more getting a feel for the person and their personality traits. They were definitely looking for somebody that wasn't slacking, like, people that would actually sit down and do the work and not gripe and moan about it the entire time. They're definitely looking for enthusiasm. Enthusiasm was a big thing at Boston Market, just because, some sort of psychological study where if you're more enthusiastic, the people around you it's like an osmosis ripple effect. So that's one of the main things they were looking for, was like enthusiasm and just perkiness, being ready to work. So
What set you apart from other candidates?
I think at the time I was the only person that applied for the dishwashing position, but I know that they did like me because I was the first male server ever, because statistically you get more sales with female servers. So I was the first person they ever brought up from the back, and it's like, hey, you're good with people. Right here, put you out in front. And then they further did that some more when I didn't even have to serve anymore, and my sole job was just caring for the customers. So, I think more or less my personable personality was a great asset towards what they were looking for.
What other advice would you give to a job seeker looking to get employment?
Just pretty much with any job, you want to be confident and straightforward with what you want. I mean, you can't beat around the bush and kind of like shy around. I mean, if there's something that you need, like, then you're going to have to tell them that. And straightforwardness and like respect and kind of like a more of an adult feel to your employment is kind of important, as opposed to just being an irresponsible high school student or college student, whatever, who's trying to get the position. So pretty much just put on your game face and be up to speed, very polite, that kind of thing.